Don't you think that's their plan though? Backwards, like they're trying to destroy the middle class and like collapse people into welfare and be a part of a create new social programs so that more people are dependent on the government to increase their power.
Yeah. Well, but that's the thing. I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot of people that are going out and actually taking out loans, and banks are giving it to them. They're being told to give it to them so that they can pay their bills. And it's. I mean, it's pretty sad, man. I mean, when the middle class is to that level now, and I mean, it's pretty plain and simple. I wanted to touch on something. Um, Something that I seen in the chat was about the credit card deal and the firearms and the ammo. It everybody needs to understand that this come from the NWO, and basically what it's doing is it's not just a code for your firearms and for your ammo. It's a code for meat, for vegetables. It's a code for clothes. It's a code. They've got codes for everything because they want to see what everybody is buying, and they have the right. And if you don't think that your Visa, people say I ain't got no credit cards. If you got a debit card, you got a credit card, because look on right on the front of it, and it says Visa, Mastercard. It's your debit card is a credit card. It is with the main company, and it's all being it's all in together, and it's all being financed out. You know, so the code thing ain't just for the firearms and for the ammo. So everybody needs to understand that. It's a big code system for everything, because especially meat, that there's a code on there for that too.
You know what I think, man? I think that prepping has exploded since 2020, and I think it's freaking them out. I really do. I think prepper. I think there's people that don't even say that they are and stuff like that. But I think almost damn near. I mean, if you take America and half of them turn into preppers, then they start worrying because man, they're stocking up. Like, I swear to God, I think that's a huge problem for the government right now. Is they're like, holy shit, the whole
We're
damn
losing that
country's done
dependency.
turned into
Yeah.
preppers.
You know, and I brought that up.
No,
You're
no
muted,
sound,
Native.
native. No sound, native.
I just said even if those like I think you're right, and even if those people just have enough to hold on and survive and just barely make it for 3 months, it messes up their whole timetable. Like the big die off that was is going to come in the first month, they're just going to throw that off, so they're going to have more people to resist. I hadn't thought of it from that perspective. I bet you're right. I bet prepping has exploded.
Do you think that the government is ready for that? Like the backlash of, okay, we know these people are probably set for 3 or 4 months. One of those kind of deals. Like, you think they have a standard?
I don't know. I bet they do. I bet they've wargamed like the numbers of how many people are going to be left in the resistance after the first 3 months, and they really start to go in and lock stuff down. After all those people die off who weren't prepared, 3 months, that's a long time, man. That's a long
Bro,
time.
I think they have a plan for everything that we do. Every move we make. What is it? UPC, the little barcodes. I think they have a plan for everything. For every city, every little small town, they have a plan for everything. I'm just saying, like, if they're spending millions to arm, IRS and agriculture and all these, trust me, they they're keeping a really close eye on everything, all the changes, who's prepping, who's buying what. We have to buy pretty much whatever it is we're prepping. We have to buy it, whether
Y'all,
it's Amazon, grocery. Yeah, go ahead.
do y'all remember here? It's been a couple of years ago, year and a half ago. A bunch of the like Augustin Farms and them. That one it might have been Augustin Farms, I can't remember,
It
but
was.
like they actually put out the video and was like, look at this letter that we got from the government, and they wanted
Yeah,
to know how fast they could make food, how much they could make, how much that, you know, how
Yeah.
how many pounds of food was on one truckload and all that. And dude wrote like "fuck y'all" and sent it back to him, you know. But
Yeah.
you know, they're trying to figure all this shit out. And see, I brought this shit up a long while back. I mean, like, I remember saying it on even Dangerous Freedoms back in the day. I said, they've already got us right here. Everything, you can go pay cash all you want to. There's cameras in every one of these fucking stores, okay? And it's all being hooked to the internet, and it's all being coded. You know what I'm saying? And they can put a picture to a code, no problem.
Hey, if you don't think they can, take out the Amazon app at any store you're at and scan the code, and it'll tell you how cheap you can get it through them.
Wow.
Yep.
Anything.
And now we know where Backwoods got his name from.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
What do y'all think about this, man? Do y'all think that prepping will become illegal in America? Do y'all think that's a possibility?
I think they're going to label it as hoarding during a national crisis.
Yep.
Yeah.
Turn
They're
those
going to demonize us, and they're going to try to turn people, our neighbors, against us first. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
Absolutely.
I think it'll come to a point as to where you cannot prep. Look, a lot of channels been saying, get it now while you can, because there might come a time where you can't. I think there's going to come a time as to where you really won't be able to. You'll be you'll be monitored that much. You know what I'm saying? And they'll know, okay, yeah, these MFers got like, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. Let them exhaust that, and then they'll have to come back to us, unless you're homesteading.
Right.
Well, see, that's what I was saying whenever I first heard about the IRS deals, is that they could, if they wanted to be petty, which we know they can, they could literally come into your house and be like, hey, you've got 2 or 3 years worth of food that has this much value. You didn't claim it. You lied to you lied to us. So we got to audit you now because you got too much stocked up. That counts as an asset. You know what I mean? Like it can get that deep.
It can.
Like I got a lot of hollow points loaded up too, right?
See, that could be another thing too. If you got so much ammo, hey, that gives you this much value toward your property or your whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's an unclaimed asset. It doesn't matter if you already bought it. You've got this much now, so it puts you in a different category. You know what I mean? It's literally that simple.
At one point, we can't move the line anymore.
Right.
At one point, we can't be like, oh, they fucked this again, man. The line's going to draw when they do this. Oh, shit, they just did it. You know what? Let them do it again.
Yep.
They do it again. Like, oh, let that motherfucker do it one more time.
That's my question. Yeah.
I think that everybody needs to understand, because it all right. I pay for stuff with cash as much as possible. I cash my check and shit, and I use cash a lot. But I'm gonna tell you something, man. They made gold illegal to use as currency in this country in the 30s. You don't think that they can't take that little dollar bill and say this is no longer currency? And in fact, it is contraband. And if you're caught with it, or caught exchanging goods with it, that's all they got to do. I mean, all these people out here that's I pay for cash for everything. Don't ever. You're just being part of the system. Well, they already made gold illegal once in this country. You don't think that they can't do that with cash and tell you all you got to do? And because some people will say, well, I don't have a debit card. And they're going to say, well, go to your local bank.
Yeah.
Go to your local bank and you will be assigned a card. And,
or use your fingerprint.
Yeah.
Or here, let's put this tattoo on you and insert this chip into your wrist. And from now on, we don't need none of that shit.
Yeah. CBDC, cryptocurrency. It's coming. Fed coin, whatever you want to call it. It's coming. The thing that I learned about it was just the simple fact that, how now you can just kind of you can just tap your card. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, that same technology could be used if you're in the vicinity of another card. And so social credit scores is what I'm talking about. So, we talk about bartering and Tribe, if your score is like 150 and mine is like 700, right? I'm not supposed to be around you. I'm not supposed to be doing business with you.
Yep.
And if my card picks up that I am,
Yeah.
then my 700 could start to decrease just because I am in the same vicinity as you. That's how stupid this thing is going to be.
And
Yep.
then imagine the divide they can control with that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You're
There's a
scared to go around
there's a
family
Black Mirror
members.
episode about this exact thing.
I don't think a social credit score would ever work here.
Really?
Out in the open. Out in the open. Because, okay, Hutch, you got 50. You can't go to this place and that place. What are you going to tell me? Fuck yourself, right? I mean, who's going to follow it? If they were like, oh, you can't do business with this person because they have a different score and it's going to negatively
It
impact.
depends on the approach. Like if they're say BlackRock jumps up and they want to do it to where you're a permanent renter class. If you want to upgrade your house, if you want to go from this 2-bedroom bottom floor dumpster fire to this 3rd story condo looking shit, you know what I mean? You got to have the right thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Along those lines. Because I mean, eventually it's going to be you're going to take your government transportation to your government job, work that, come home to your government house. You know what I mean? So it's all going to be intertwined. It doesn't have to take over everything. All it's got to do is one skyscraper to do that. You know what I mean? And that's
We're doing it right now.
Standard.
Hey, that just means that we've all been dragging our line with us just further back.
Right.
We're doing that right now by paying our taxes, going to work every day, paying these high gas prices. I know it sounds redundant, but I'm just saying we're already doing it, so they know. Okay, hopes and dreams, same deal.
But see, it because all this stuff is coded, and especially over the last 2 years, they've had us for a long time. Don't tell me, please. Nobody out there tried to tell me or sell me some bullshit that you never used a card to buy any prep items. Tell me you haven't. And all I'm saying is, like we were talking about a while ago about the hoarding and everything, there's going to be a food shortage very soon.
Mhm.
Like, especially if this goes on strike. Now, what if they go in and declare a national emergency because of a food shortage? National emergency means martial law. They can file martial law. Now they can go into all this computer shit and go, hey, you know what? This dude over here he's got a year's worth of food. They sit there and look and go, man, he's got so many pounds, which equals about a year worth of food. Bam, all of a sudden you get a knock on your door and they're like, we know you got this. We want it.
Yep.
Because and I know what's going to happen in chat next. They're going to go, oh, I'll just tell them I ate it. Oh, yeah. Well, they're going to also know all the food that you've been buying since then. And they're going to go, no, you've been buying enough food, you know what I'm saying, to sustain you and your family this whole time. Plus you're buying this extra. Where's it at?
And prove it, or you're going to jail.
Yep.
Prove that you ate it. Who did you give it? You shared it with your family, with family members, because that's where we're headed next.
Yep.
It's going to be the same thing as that body mass index. We're like, oh, you've reached your average, and you bought more, so we think you're lying because we know you only need this much for a family of 4. It's the average, and
I will say this though: everything you guys are talking about, it would take a lot of enforcement for them to enforce something like that.
They just put 87,000.
There's a lot of people in the United States of America. We have the 3rd largest population in the world. And we're spread out too, man.
Yeah.
It would take a lot of coordination for them to enforce something. And I will say this, like during the COOF stuff, man, with the mask and everything, there was a lot of pushback on that. And there's governors said they will never do that to their state again. So it's not just going to be like, the little guy too. That's what I'm saying. I feel like we're headed towards some kind of conflict or some kind of balkanization. I don't know, man. Yep. I think it's going to be crazy after this next election and the one after that. They're going to blow stuff up, man. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely going to ramp up. Hey, I think they'll make it super convenient, and they'll make it like something enjoyable. You know what I'm saying? Like
service.
To get us off of like the paper greenbacks, the dollars. I could literally see them saying, okay, look, if you agree to this, then we will give you, a stipend, stimulus, something monthly. You know what I'm saying? $200 for this transitional period for 6 to 8 months. Man, people who ain't got money are gonna go stupid over that.
$50. People go
Yeah.
stupid over $50.
And there it is.
Shoot, I almost will.
Hell, even 1% cash back, even though you're paying 17% in fucking interest. You know what I mean?
What's that? Pepper stating always says $20 is $20.
1% cash back. Yeah, and then like the upper class, it'll even be, it'll be something even more retarded, like, some big payout to get the rich on board. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you see, it's
stupid.
almost incentivized now with the actual credit score we've got. Shit, you can't get a job at a lot of places if you've got a credit score below something. You know what I mean? So like the blueprint's already there. It's just dialing it in.
Yeah, Hutch.
And if you don't think that there's already social credit scores going on, look at a bunch of these people who's been fired for just saying something on TikTok or on whatever. The shit's already happening, man. People are losing their jobs over shit that they've said on social media. That's a credit score, man. It's already here, man.
Yeah, it's programmed. Hey, the Pope was like, bring all our assets and money back to our Vatican banks. we don't know what's going on, but bring it all back. Man, yeah, it's crazy times. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
All I know is that we're all gonna die.
Yes.